Good Gateway morning, everyone, and welcome back to Billing Insights, your favorite podcast for medical billing. If this is your first time watching, my name is Taylor.
And I'm Anita.
And you may have heard that Mom and I did the training to become trained Skywarn spotters. So that's weather related if you don't know what that is. And in today's forecast, we're looking at a 99% chance of clean claims. But today's episode, the real reason we're here, it's a new and exciting topic, artificial intelligence, otherwise known as AI, but not like in science fiction or self-driving cars, but right here in the world of revenue cycle management.
Interesting.
So if you've ever wondered whether AI is a gimmick or a game changer when it comes to reducing denials, streamlining AR, and improving cash flow, you're in the right place.
Now, when people think about AI, the first thing they're going to think about is robots or computers taking over the world. That's not what we're talking about. Here in billing, AI shows up as automated voice agents, smart data scrubbing, and predictive analytics that help flag claims before they go out the door. We want those clean claims to go out to result in paid claims. At its core, AI is about using those algorithms to learn from past behavior and talk about payers, which claims they're typically going to deny, what CPT codes are causing problems, and then take that smart action without needing human intervention.
So AI helps to automate a few things. We have claim status calls, so you log into a console, you upload the claims, and then the the AI bot places the calls out on all of those claims and checks on claim status. So they give you back a CSV file with the allowed amount, the adjusted amount, any remark codes or denial codes, and all of that important stuff. We also have AI is now doing prior authorization follow-ups. In the future, they are looking into actually obtaining the authorization themselves, but right now they have the capability of doing the follow-up calls. Any follow-up for appeal submissions, actual appeals are something that they are also working on in the future. And denial pattern recognition, so the AI can analyze reports and see any trends that are happening as far as denial reasons may go.
So why is this important? Well, there's a lot of different things going on right now in the economy and the world as a whole. There's a lot of staffing shortages, trying to find good help that is competent, that wants to show up, that wants to do the job. Staff burnout. Because we're growing so much, and I don't think it's just in our company. I've seen different reports that show lots of billing companies are growing, and even MGMA put out a report several months ago saying that over the next 5 to 10 years, medical billing is expected to grow exponentially.
Yes.
And we are growing exponentially. We've had a lot of clients. Oh my goodness. Even today we got some clients. But so we're worried about staff burnout, having too much on their plate and not enough time to do it all. And then the overwhelming number of denials. I had said at one point that if you have a billing company that has 1 million claims that goes out in a month, even if you have a 98% clean claim ratio, that still leaves 20,000 claims that need to be worked.
Wild.
And that is tremendous because if you sit down and look at just trends on how many claims an AR person can work in a day, we typically say about 4 claims per hour. Now that includes long phone call holds, working those complicated appeal denials and things like that. So on average about 4 an hour, or about 30 to 35 in an 8-hour shift. Now, if you have 10 AR people and you're saying on average working about 30 to 35 claims per shift, that adds up to be about 3,600 claims in a month. Now, if you have 1 million claims that you're working with 20,000 that have to be worked and your 10 people can only get to 3,600, how are you going to get to the other 17 100,000, I guess, that we're trying to get to.
It's going to roll over into your 120 bucket.
And you're going to have issues with timely filing, claims not getting worked, revenue being lost. All of that causes a problem. Now, here's another thing that's a big problem these days. Payers are getting more and more complicated and less transparent. So it used to be that you could go online and find these manuals. Even, for instance, TMHP in Texas, we use that manual on an almost daily basis. Things are getting more and more hard to find, but also getting more and more complicated. And honestly, if you want my personal opinion, I think they're doing this on purpose, because it seems like every other day you come
Allegedly.
making these rules that they have for these policies more hard to follow, and then they change them every time you turn around. So because they're getting more and more complex, it's more difficult for your billing team and your AR team to find issues. Why did this claim deny? What do I have to do to fix it? And how can I prevent it in the future?
And when you call and you ask them, they can't direct you to a policy. They can't tell you how to bill. They have all of these excuses
Yes.
as to why they cannot assist you.
Now, we joke, honestly, it's a joke, but it is kind of funny that we have Trash Can Thursday. It seems like, for whatever reason, randomly, claims just get either,
What is that, file 13?
thank you. Where they just lose the claim, or they just randomly deny it for no reason that we can figure out. And then, you call them and like, we'll reprocess it for, whether it gets reprocessed correctly or gets paid is another whole story. But, and then the average AR in the billing world is increasing over all of the states. And it it is. And so what we're doing is trying to get AI to help speed up that claim process, speed up the claims getting paid and getting paid correctly, and decrease the claim denials.
Exactly. So at Gateway Medical Solutions specifically, not just in the revenue cycle management world anymore, but at Gateway Medical Solutions, we are exploring integration with a new AI company, Outbound AI, an intelligent virtual agent designed to handle all of those things we just talked about,
Yes.
and then everything that we said would be in the future. That's also all with Outbound AI.
So think of it as your 24-hour, 7-day-a-week claims person that's working for you. It never takes a break. It never calls in sick. And it documents everything, which is really wonderful, because when you have every call that is recorded, it gets your reference number, it puts in a note. You can take that from the console that your information is uploaded into and put that back into Advanced MD, so the doctors can see what has happened, your AR team that's following up can know what's going on, and it builds that trust that nothing is going to fall through the cracks. Remember, AI is like a child. It has to learn. It has to grow. It has to know the billing rules that you're putting in. And so it may be slow at first, and it definitely will take some time to get ramped up to speed. But hopefully, once everything is functioning correctly, it's really going to decrease that manpower that's required across the board.
But that's also the reason why it's really important to have that human interaction or that human connection with AI. You don't want AI doing everything for you, because then how do you know what they're doing it right? Take ChatGPT, for example. We love ChatGPT.
Yes, we do.
We named him George. And he may ghostwrite some of those difficult emails. Sometimes, of course, we add things that we need to add and remove things we need to remove. But if you ask ChatGPT, for example, how do I bill for a urinalysis? What CPT code do I use? Well, he might give you the one that's with a microscope, with microscopy, instead of the one that is without. And if you weren't using that whenever you did the urinalysis, then he might be telling you to bill it wrong. Of course, we say he, but it's just a bot.
Again, we named him George, so,
Right.
So, but it's really helpful, because back to our description that I just said a few minutes ago, if our team of 10 people can work about 3,600 claims in a month, this AI bot can work all of those 3,600 claims in 5 hours.
Holy guacamole.
Yeah. It's tremendous as far as the help that it can give. Remember, it would take one staff member months to manually call on every single one of those claims, and he can do it in 5 hours. So it does work at night. It works on weekends. It's making those calls. It's putting in those notes for you. And the team just reviews the results of whatever the phone call was and then takes that action. This results in faster payments, fewer write-offs because your claims aren't getting to timely. Staff is then freed up to focus on those high impact tasks like coding audits, consulting, educating the providers or querying the providers, because we do that a lot. And remember, it is fully HIPAA compliant. We never have to worry about the data being compromised. And Taylor, explain how we do that.
So they do have multi-factor authentication. They do have different encryptions. They also have insurance as a fail-safe if you're concerned about that. But there are many different compliance and IT security type features that they have. If you would like to reach out to Outbound AI yourself, they would be more than happy to tell you about it. But yes, we never compromise patient data. So let's be real. AI is powerful, but it's not magic. AI cannot appeal a denial with a personalized letter based on clinical documentation nuance. It cannot catch subtle coding errors that require years of experience and specialty knowledge, like the example I gave earlier with the UA. And it cannot build relationships with providers or clinic staff.
That's why at GMS, we don't use AI to replace our staff.
No.
We use it to amplify them. We want to make them more efficient and speed up the process. AI handles those replaceable, repeatable, time-consuming tasks. Those phone calls that can drag on for hours and hours. And honestly, Taylor has had an instance where she was on the phone with a certain Medicaid that shall not be named for over 12 hours on hold.
Ridiculous.
So we don't want to spend all that time. The AI can do it for us. It can, if we need a human interaction in there, so AI is calling on this IVR line and it gets to a point where a human needs to speak, it can actually place that call on hold and then transfer it to a human person to speak to them. So it's really helpful. Our team then handles all those complex and critical thinking skills that require that human judgment. And here's the promise we've made internally to all of our staff. We are not eliminating jobs. Instead, we're reallocating those team members to things like provider education, chart audits, credentialing, advanced denial appeals, and internal process improvements. All things that are going to build up your billing team.
So let's move on to the part where things get interesting, the financial side.
Yep.
Let's break it down. A team member making $16 an hour can follow up on about 4 claims per hour. That's $4 per claim in labor, not counting training, benefits, or overhead. Outbound AI costs us around 45 cents per claim follow-up.
And that's per call, not per minute.
Right. That's nearly a 90% savings per follow-up call.
It's awesome.
So even though we're investing in tech, we're reducing our cost per claim significantly. More importantly, we're seeing faster collections, fewer aging claims, improved client satisfaction, and our CFO is happy.
Yes, he is.
Our providers are happy. And our staff, less burnout and more time for meaningful work.
Meaningful work is what's important.
Something that keeps your employees excited and wanting to do the job.
Happy to do the work and come in to be here at work.
Exactly.
And this is just the beginning. So here's some things that are on the horizon for Outbound AI, the AI team that we're working with here to get set up. Automated prior authorization submissions. So what we talked about before was the follow-ups. The prior authorization has already been submitted, but AI is checking in to see, hey, that one that we submitted 2 weeks ago, has it been approved? But they're in the process in Q3 of this year of automating the whole prior auth submission process.
That's Q4, but yes.
Q4?
Yeah.
Sorry, Q4. Predictive denials. So this is where AI warns you and flags you before a claim gets sent out. And then trend analysis, recognizing patterns across all payers and specialties. So right now you have to program in what those LCDs are, and we use this in our billing rules in Advanced MD, and it flags us if we have a CPT code that's not able to be billed with a certain diagnosis code and things like that. But it's going to get more and more a higher learning level as time goes on, and it's going to be able to flag more and more complicated scenarios. Billing companies that don't use AI are going to get left behind. Providers are demanding faster turnaround, better insight, and fewer billing headaches. And again, it's going back to the economy and prices going up so high. Providers are being paid less and less as the years have gone by. I think since 1990s or somewhere around in there. Instead, even though Medicare has been raising their rates by 2 to 3% every year, the total payment that providers get paid has gone down significantly, less and less over year. So it's really causing a problem. And because they have to tighten their belt, they're looking more and more at what their billers are doing. So the billers, the billing companies, and the staff that are there need to become more and more efficient. And it's causing a problem.
So at GMS, we're committed to leading the charge.
Yes, we are.
Not just reacting to the future, but helping build it. So if you're listening and thinking, well, my billing company doesn't do any of this,
what do you
maybe it's time to upgrade. At Gateway Medical Solutions, we combine expert human billing with powerful automation to get your claims paid faster and cleaner, just like today's forecast, a 99% chance of clean claims. Let's talk. Visit us at www.gatewaymedicalsolutions.com. That is solutions with an S. I'll say it one more time. www.gatewaymedicalsolutions.com, or give us a call at 888-258-3326, extension 109. And also, if you need any additional training, anything about coding or HIPAA or
consulting, auditing,
plenty of different courses are available for you at www.gmslearningacademy.com. That's G as in golf, M as in Mike, S as in Sierra, learningacademy.com. Thank you so much for watching today. Remember to please like, comment, subscribe, and share, as well as punch that notification bell so you can be notified every time that we upload a new video. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify as well, or on Facebook for more billing wisdom and maybe a few laughs along the way. So thank you so much for watching today. We really do appreciate your support, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!